Ready Check Radio.
Stand by as we get ready to serve up all your news this week in the world of gaming. Welcome to Gaming Gumbo. What's up, Internet? It is Saturday night. It is 7 p.m. Eastern. That means it's time for Gaming Gumbo, Ready Check Radio's gaming weekly wrap-up show. And boy, what a week it was. I'm kind of glad it's over, but I still have so much backlogged to play right now that it's a bit of a mess. But we've got a lot to cover, so we kind of got to get right down to it. If you're listening on Spotify or watching on our YouTube channel, come on over, twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio. You can find all the links at ReadyCheckRadio.com, RAIDEO.com. Come join us live, hang out with chat. Let us know what you're thinking as we go through the show. It's a totally different experience live. Isn't that what they always say? Like, oh, they're a much better band live. So if you're watching this on YouTube thinking the podcast is about a 7 out of 10, it's probably like a 9 out of 10 live. If we stick with that. I'm Mike Byrne, your host, joining me today to talk about the Game Awards and, a couple things that might have released this week. Mr. Jason Winter, how are you, sir?
I'm actually not doing too great because last night I witnessed a robbery.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah. We were robbed. We did not win Content Creator of the Year.
Oh,
What is up with that?
We already have the number 2 YouTube channel in the world, right? Because we
know what number 1
right,
is.
You and I are over on mmobomb.com, which is the number 1 YouTube channel in the world. At least that's what the staff tells us every time we ask. So, they wouldn't lie to us.
The staff, our extensive staff. Hey, give me my coffee. Come on, hurry up.
It'll be there. It'll be there. Also on the line, Yod, what's up, sir? What are you're doing the evil overlord thing again with the cat?
Yes. Dirk has come to join us for a little while, for who knows how long again. But he wants.
You definitely look like a Bond villain, man. You definitely look like you're about to feed somebody to sharks with laser beams on their heads. Absolutely.
There's a reason I bought this chair. Leather overlord chair.
The high back leather chair.
Yep. Gotta have it. When you're feeding people to sharks with lasers on their freaking heads.
You got to be comfy. You got to be comfy.
Yep.
You got to have the seat to go with it. Well, so first up, I think let's talk about the Game Awards. That's the biggie as far as events that happen typically in the gaming world for the year. Some other things that maybe rival it in your personal opinions. But generally, as far as bang for your buck, as far as new world premiere trailers and everything, if you like that kind of stuff, particularly with no real E3 to speak of, this was it for the world of gaming as far as presentational things in a broad scope rather than the narrow scope like Sony conference and Nintendo conferences and things like that. And we did make some picks. We didn't make them for every category. We picked 5. We reviewed them on episode 2. I've got a couple viewers and their feedback too, so we're going to get to that and see what you had to say on that front. And I'm sure we'll make fun of probably all of us, but one of us did okay. One of us did okay on our predictions. Before we get to the predictions, though, I kind of want to do a little check-in with everybody. What you thought of the show in general? Just do you like this type of show? Have you always liked it? Is there a different type of format that you think is better that maybe we've gotten away from or we haven't tried yet? Just kind of your overall impressions on the presentation itself, and then we'll kind of get into some specifics. So, Jason, I know you're generally not like a huge awards show guy. Like I don't believe we've talked to you. You don't sit there and watch like the Oscars or anything like that, but you do kind of follow up later and maybe look at the big winners and things like this. But if I had to guess, this probably isn't really your type of presentation overall. Let's see if I'm right or wrong.
I I liked the premieres and so forth. It's a shame they had to put all that award stuff there and get in the way, Because someone actually tweeted that on my Twitter the other night, was like, yeah, is anybody really watching this for the awards? Or are we just here for the trailers? And I'm like, yeah, we're just here for the trailers, honestly. So, Yeah, this is basically like the winter E3 or whatever, or however you want it. Wasn't there a summer game show too now? Now there's a winter game show or
I don't
December game show. So
I don't know.
yeah, that's all I'm really watching for. I couldn't really care too much about the awards.
Yod, are you kind of in the same bucket? Do you like a good award
Yeah,
show?
I don't tend to really care for the award shows. I mean, at a certain point, I enjoyed BlizzCon a bit, but that was more for tournaments, and their announcements.
Yeah, and I
Uh,
think that's a bit of a different beast, though, when you compare it to like an
right,
award show,
right,
because you've got the panels that you are very specific. You've got the competitive aspect of things. You've got the upcoming things. Like there's 900 different things going on there, where
right,
and it's spread out over anywhere from 1 to 3 days, depending on how they're doing it. Whether it's digital only, like we'll be in 2021 here, or the in-person event that lasts the whole weekend.
right. And like in this case, because we're doing a show and stuff, I did go through and watch the entire thing,
But
albeit
that was
at
more out of
1.5
like a
speed.
sense of
Yeah,
obligation
yeah. I turned
than
it up to
than a
1.5
sense of
speed, watching
enjoyment.
it, and it felt a little more like when one does not have a team in the Super Bowl, and you just sit there and you watch it for the commercials. It felt kind of like that, where
Yeah,
I'm there for the previews and the trailers,
yeah, I can
and
see
So
that.
that's
so
about it.
QuakeCon is a convention that Bethesda puts on down in Dallas.
Mhm.
And in maybe 2016 or 2015, I went to it, and it is the only convention or show or gaming event or whatever that I think I've been to in the last like 10 years that I wasn't working. I had no work obligations.
It's
I
Oh,
didn't
weird.
have
like
to
you
watch
you
it do,
weren't covering anything for like MMO Bomb or anything or Gamebreaker
or
or
any
anything
other
like
site
that.
or my
Yeah.
magazine or anything like that. And it's in Dallas, where I live, so it was only a short trip away. So I was like, I'm just going to go for the heck of it. And it was such a weird experience.
It is totally weird because
I don't know how you people do it.
I don't know either. I mean, I normally have a table or something at the convention scenes,
Yeah,
and it's like, what do you do with yourself the entire day, right?
just going to a convention to just go there.
Right?
What? I don't have to write an article or hustle for a job or something. What?
You,
Huh?
you're not exhausted after the hours are over and
Yeah,
at the
Just
bar,
here as a fan? What?
I know.
So weird.
Yeah, so I used to really be into like I'm a huge movie buff. I still am, but I used to like really be into like the Oscars. Like I would sit down and my daughter would watch it with me, or we'd have a friend or two over and we'd watch the Oscars and stuff like that. I got out of that a few years ago, and I just didn't care anymore about the awards themselves because they're a travesty anymore. Yeah, I got to agree with you. Like I really don't care about the awards themselves, which is a shame because I want to. I like the idea of recognition across the industry.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely
Recognition is good.
yeah, the show just kind of rubs me the wrong way, and I know I've told this to you too privately, and maybe some people in chat when they've asked me about it directly. I'm not a fan of Jeff Keighley, and that's not to say that I don't like the guy. I don't know him, never met
It's
him.
the speakers, right?
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for him behind the scenes and things he does for the gaming industry as a whole, and so there's a lot of respect there. But when you put him in front of a camera, I just want to slam my head into a desk. Like it is just not the type of personality, in my opinion, from doing hosting of live events and things like that. I do not get the host vibe from him, and it just bores the hell out of me. And I'm sorry. As soon as you put on the tie underneath the jacket, take the tennis shoes off and put on some big boy shoes.
I would have gone for like a pair, even a pair of combat boots. That would have been fine. They're black. They go with a suit.
Nah,
I've
see,
done it
even
before.
that, I'm like, you know what? If you want to wear tennis shoes with a sports jacket, I don't care. Go ahead. Put on a nice black sports jacket, little button-down shirt. You want to rock the jeans and a t-shirt, that's fine. If you're going to go full-on black dress pants, black sports jacket, black tie, black shirt underneath it, and then put on blue and white tennis, God, what?
Yeah.
Look, it's a video game show. He just couldn't afford the skin for the good shoes.
he still needs
He's
a
wearing
couple
the
tiers,
default ones.
couple tiers on the season pass.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh god.
All
killing me
right.
here.
Well, we're gonna get to some of the reveals. We're not obviously not. We're gonna cover all of them. We're not gonna rehash the entire show, but there are a couple that I think we should mention and just give our opinions on, and we'll chime in with our personal picks for most anticipated. But I think we start with the embarrassing part. Get it out of the way. Let's review our actual Game Award picks. Now, we picked 5 categories to go through on episode 2, and that was Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Score, and Best Ongoing. That being game as a live service, right? And so all 3 of us made our picks. We've got the real picks logged in. I've got picks from Zach Sharps on hand. Someone who works with Jason and I at MMO Bomb. I've got picks from Guestly on here as well. We're going to throw theirs in there to kind of make fun of you, the community, a little bit. If we're going down in a blaze of glory, you're coming with us. So Jason, let's just say right off the bat that Jason, you did the best out of all of us, the best of it out of everybody, walking away with
was not
4.
the best of us.
You were the best of us, walking away with 4 out of 5 picks correct. 4 out of 5 picks correct.
It's only because I decided to not vote Last of Us every possible opportunity that I didn't get a 5 out of 5. But I could tell that game was like gaining steam, gaining a lot of critical acclaim, people talking about it. So I thought it was a pretty strong pick for most categories.
Yeah, and I will admit that at least 2 of my picks were probably more heart-based than anything, particularly one.
Never, ever based.
I know, but I wasn't going to sit there and
champion.
Yeah, I wasn't going to sit there and make the same exact picks you were going to do. Although we would have disagreed flat out on one, but if I had to pick who was going to win, yeah, and not use heart, but I had to use heart and hope, and yeah, I paid for it. So let's start with best ongoing. Jason, you chose No Man's Sky. After a correction, we had to go back to episode 2 and rewatch. Yod, you had chosen Destiny 2, and
Yes.
I took Apex Legends. Out of those 3, we did hit. It was Jason, No Man's Sky. Congrats, Jason. Congrats.
The best part, though, if you go back and watch that video of the episode, Mike starts off by listing the categories, and Apex Legends,
yeah.
you know I'm not going to pick that.
Yep, and then at the end,
3 minutes later, he picks it.
Yep.
Right.
And at the end, I did.
So that was the best.
I honestly thought if I was going to lose that one with the Apex Legends, I thought I would have lost to Destiny 2, actually.
I can
appreciate
totally
all the
voted.
changes No Man's Sky has made, but
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I totally voted with the heart on that one because I had loved Destiny forever, but I could see No Man's Sky taking it with all the changes they've made. I mean, they listened to their community, they supported them, they gave them a better game.
Zach Sharp's pick jumped in with you, Jason, and took No Man's Sky, so 1 point for Zach. Guessly jumped in with Yod, took Destiny 2, so Yod and I and Guessly, all 3 of us, were at the losers table right now. Best score, all 3 of us took Final Fantasy VII on this one. Final Fantasy VII also Zach Sharp's pick. Doom Eternal was Guessly's pick. So Guessly is the only one out in the cold here because Final Fantasy VII did, in fact, take best score. One of those awards that if you were looking for certain awards and you didn't watch the pre-show, tough shit. Because
I just wanted the website. I just wanted the website after.
Go ahead, Yod.
I did find that odd that there was so many awards that they did in pre-show.
Yeah, and they do that every year, but there were some bigger ones. Like this one, Best Score, I was like, yeah, that's not one that's going to be in pre-show, so we'll pick it as one of the 5. Like, I always know that they do, and the Oscars and other big award ceremonies do that too. There's like X hundred Oscars, you see like 40 of them on stage.
Yeah.
But I would have thought Best Score would have been given away on the live show. I don't know. But all of us picked Final Fantasy VII, and I think that one was kind of a no-brainer, right? None of us had any real doubt that Final Fantasy VII was going to have competition there. It was all the other categories that FF7 Remake was up for that we thought were going to be tough sells.
Right.
That, and as I look over the candidates for that, that's the only one of those where I actually have heard the music from. So Although it was a neat little thing they did there where they had the what is it, the London Philharmonic
Yeah.
or whatever doing the score
was
for all the
cool,
songs
yeah.
as they went. Yeah.
That was cool.
Best narrative. Yeah, this one little weird to me actually. I'm surprised that what won this. So, Jason, you took The Last of Us 2. Yad, you took Ghost of Tsushima, which I kind of agreed had a very strong chance in this category, and I took Final Fantasy VII just more out of heart and to be different than actually thinking it was going to walk away with this. Zach Sharps also took Ghost of Tsushima, and Gesley came with me on Final Fantasy VII Remake. Jason, you're the only one that walks away with this one because The Last of Us 2 took Best Narrative. Have either of you two played through Last of Us 2?
Nope.
No, not even one.
You know, I don't know a single person personally that has played the entire game. I got the original Last of Us free with like the third PlayStation I bought. I think I bought a PS4 for streaming purposes, and I didn't want to move one up and down anymore. And it had 2 games free in it. One of them was the original Last of Us. That tells you how long ago I bought this. And I got like 2 hours into it, and I was just like, yeah, okay, yeah, but this one's not for me. And I never finished it. So I was thinking about that when I was on the way home from doing some Christmas shopping today to the show. I was like, you know what? I don't actually physically know a single person that played this game.
I know 2.
That's weird. That's just
And
weird to me.
neither one was happy with it.
You do?
Yeah, I know 2 people, and neither one was happy with the second game. They loved the first game, but the second one they were not happy with it.
Last of Us ends up taking both of the other categories too, Best Game Direction and Game of the Year. Jason, you took Game of the Year for Last of Us. Game Direction, you took Tsushima, though. Nobody took Last of Us in Best Game Direction as far as the 3 hosts here. Zach Sharps went with me on Half-Life Alyx, and Gesley went with Ghost of Tsushima, so nobody got Best Game Direction.
That could have been my easiest prediction, was pretending that Zach would pick Half-Life Alyx for anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Zach is a huge Half-Life Alyx. Yep. Mad Martha. Sorry, Sony paid good money for those awards. It was interesting watching the show though, and like everybody rigged
Right?
in chat every time Last of Us 2 popped up for a win. I'm not going to take anything away from the game. Maybe it is deserving of every single one of those awards. I can't personally tell you that or not, or whether I think it is or not. But it's always surprising to me when some game sweeps a ton of those big categories and takes Game of the Year, and I literally don't know a single person that played it from start to finish. That's odd to me. Not saying that I should every single game, but that just strikes me as odd.
It does strike me as one of those kind of games that maybe didn't get huge playthrough for like a whole lot of people, but had that kind of critical acclaim from those who did, and that's probably it right there.
Right. So I'm gonna put me down for next year for all 5 of these categories for Cyberpunk on that logic alone.
I agree.
Nobody's played that. I mean,
Just on that logic alone.
Right.
Let's just pencil me in now, Jason. Cyberpunk 2077, all 5 picks. We'll review next
all
year.
the way down to checklist.
What's that?
Every single category.
Yeah.
Every single category, all the way down to checklist.
Yeah, exactly.
Cyberpunk. That's my picks.
Best indie game, Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Best MMO, Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Best sports game, Cyberpunk.
Keep it in your pants, unlike the game can. Let's talk about a few trailers from the awards while we're there. We're going to each kind of give one that we were like maybe the most interested. I don't want to say like the most anticipated because most of these were so far away that they're just like, okay, cool. Yeah, that's one I'm going to be watching. So let's put these. Yeah, this is definitely most anticipated for Yad. Definitely most anticipated.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think Jason and I are a little more tempered on, yeah, I'm going to watch this one, is where we're coming from on these. So let's go with Yad first. What was your most anticipated for you based on the trailers that were released?
It's not like I took any video and watched it, multiple times,
It's not like I'm
dissecting
not
each frame
showing it
and
on the screen
made
right
a
now.
background here, right here. Yeah, yeah, it would be Mass Effect, of course. It looks like they're gonna run a narrative. If the teaser's any indication, which I'm not saying it is, have no idea what they're gonna do with it, but it almost looks like they're gonna jump forward in time, and it might be centered around a Liara storyline.
Well, you do get teased at
But
the end of the trailer with Liara.
exactly, that's what I'm saying. That
Yeah.
because I mean, she's right here.
Yep, which does lead to
She's
believe
sitting right next
maybe this picks up after Mass Effect 3. Do you actually want that, or would you? I think you said you'd rather have something new but in the same universe, like a different
From
storyline in a different
I
planet type deal.
I would, but if it's played correctly, which if the screenshot that I found, and it's not like I, blew it up and watched at 4K resolution on this massive monitor in front of me and saw all the little details on her face and everything.
He's
But
sitting there with his artist pen circling shit on his screen.
but she does look like she's many years older. So if it's set at a point in time after, even if for some bizarre happening that Shepard survived,
Yep.
he or she is still long dead at this point. Because that's what it seems to indicate to me with how aged she looks.
Does it?
I'm okay with that.
If they're gonna go with like the Mass Effect 4 or a Mass Effect 3 follow-up, whatever you want to call it, I'm just gonna call it Mass
Right.
Effect 4 to make it,
Right.
logic sense here.
Right.
Does it make you even a little more nervous for it though? You're probably there's already a little anxiety there with how bad Andromeda was and things like that, and departures from BioWare and things like that. Does it put a little more anxiety on there now that if they're gonna go into a Mass Effect 4 and pick up that storyline, Casey Hudson just left.
Yeah, I am apprehensive of how it's going to turn out. But all in all, I think I'm in the minority where I actually enjoyed the Andromeda storyline. And to me,
No,
a
I
lot
think
of
a lot of people
Andromeda,
enjoyed the storyline, but it was just asking a lot to look past everything to
right?
get that storyline.
Well, the majority of my issue with Andromeda when it came out is, and I mentioned it before when we were talking about Mass Effect.
No spoilers. I've yet to play it.
No, no
Oh,
spoilers.
shut up.
Seriously, I'm
I
like,
mean, no,
Oh my
seriously,
God.
no spoilers. Seriously, no spoilers.
Yeah.
My issue was that
Please
when it
don't
initially came
give
out,
any spoilers for Final Fantasy 2 either. Jason might
right,
get to it at
right.
some point.
But it was like somebody forgot to turn on the final render button. It was like we were looking at pre-final render models. That was my only issue with it, and they gave a patch out, and it fixed it. It's okay. I really wish they continued on with the DLC so I could see the end of the storyline. But with the story that I got, I was decently happy with, and I know a lot of people weren't, but I was fine with it. So the story aspect, with people leaving, yeah, I'm a little apprehensive, but they could still pull it out. I think
I think they almost have to.
they do. They do. After Andromeda, for their audience's sake, not me. I'll probably buy it day one anyways
Right.
because I'm me. But for their general fan base and stuff, they really have to hit it out of the park.
Not only that, Jason, I think they, as a studio, have to.
Yes.
You can't be on the heels of Anthem, Mass Effect Andromeda, and fumble this ball. Like, there's a lot on the line when it comes to not only the Mass Effect title coming up, but also the Dragon Age title coming up.
mm-hmm.
I think at least one of those has to hit it out of the park. And if you can get both of them to hit it out of the park, I think you're on relatively stable ground, and you bought the time that you want to do some things with Anthem. You now have the time again to do them. I think if both of these titles stumble too hard, BioWare might be in a bad spot, Jason, as far as their overlords EA.
Yeah, I don't know if it has to be hit out of the park, like 98 Metacritic or anything like that, but I think they at least have to not be panned in the way that Anthem and Andromeda were. At least you can't have another disaster on your hands, for sure.
I think Anthem was a lot worse than Andromeda.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
no,
Anthem is-
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. That one's not
Well,
even close.
if anything though, I think when Andromeda came out and got its crap, we were like, oh man, that's terrible. That's the worst. And then Bioware was like, hang on, we can do worse. Watch this.
they,
Hold my beer.
So,
they hold my
the
beer.
bar was lowered, so to speak. So
Right. But yeah, Anthem. I mean, the initial playthrough, because I mean, I got Anthem first day. The group I was playing
So did
with
I.
was playing Destiny at the time, or was it Destiny 2 by then? I don't remember. But
Yeah, it was
all of
D2.
us were looking, yeah, all of us was looking to move on to Anthem and go, all right, here's our new,
Yep.
multiplayer game that we're doing stuff with.
That was my crew
Playing
too.
through the initial storyline wasn't bad. The free play wasn't bad. I loved, being in an Iron Man suit, flying around, shooting things. Then you get to end game, it's like, okay, here you go. Play 50 more of this mission, 60 more of this mission, 25 of this mission. Once you get done with that, go back and play 100 more of this mission, 200 more of this mission. It's like, what?
You gotta love anytime something goes wrong in the game and players actually enjoy that it went wrong, and then they call it a bug and
Right.
take it out.
Yeah, that was that too.
Like when
Yeah,
the
we
loot
get
drops
better
work.
loot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
that was-
Well, we got the Mass Effect. So, do we get the? Well, we're gonna get the Mass Effect remaster first.
Are we? Or do you
I
go
would
for that
assume
first?
so, right?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I think the remaster, the trilogy comes first, because
I
then
guess it would
then you
depend
could bounce the marketing. Like anybody that hasn't, like Jason, here, buy the trilogy, catch up. In 6 months, we got the new one coming out, type deal. I think that's
Yeah.
the marketing play.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Do you recommend Yod, by the way, as somebody who's played through not only all of them, but all three of them, but Andromeda and everything? Like, do you recommend, like, if Jason, how many of them have you played?
I played the base 3, the original 3.
The original three. Okay.
Yeah, just not Andromeda.
So let's say, like, I played the first one, and then halfway through the second one, they had changed the model, and I realized why they did, and it was probably best overall, but it kind of took away what I really liked about the game, so I fell out of it. Narratively speaking, though, should I go play all three of these in prep for this, or can I go read the compendium online and just get caught up? Because although you make all these different decisions and everything for your own Shepherd, there is canon as far as what they use storyline-wise. This is the canon ending, so we go from here.
I would say if you actually enjoyed the characters, yes, go through and play the games.
Okay.
If not, I'm gonna assume, because for 2 and 3, I believe, at one point they released a DLC where you kind of go through a motion comic.
Yeah, it
kinda
was like a
click off
little
all the decisions.
prelude thing.
Right,
Yeah.
right. You just click off all the major decisions, and then it builds your universe from there.
Gotcha.
So there's that ability too.
Well, we
Which-
assume there will be. I mean, it would only
Yeah,
it
we
would
assume
make
that's
sense.
gonna be. And I mean, like back in the day when I didn't want to go back and replay 1 and 2. I just wanted to do 3 again. I just go through and click off the decisions, and then I can move along to 3.
So as far
'Cause-
as BioWare is concerned, is there a canon? Like, Shepard died, Shepard lived, and we're going to build from there? Or is it, are they stuck in this loop of we got to keep, if we're going to keep going with these storylines, we've got to keep importing Shepards and making essentially 2 storylines or more?
That's the funny thing. If you really look into that trailer, that little teaser, it almost looked like Liara wants to make another Shepherd. Like, I mean, she did it the first in 2. They got enough of her body back or his or her body, depending on your model.
Right. I mean,
That they
that's
were
the
able
whole
to
kickoff
make
at the
a new
beginning of 2.
Right, exactly. And if a friend of mine that is also a very very big Mass Effect lore hound, she was looking at it, and it looks like it's the initial planet that the Normandy 1 crashed on. So I mean, is she trying to dig up enough parts for another Shepherd?
Not only
could
was
be a
he
thing.
circling shit, Jason, he brought the team over.
Hey!
He brought the
She
staff
geeked out at it
over.
as much as I did.
And was, let's circle stuff. All right, so we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah,
I am a little concerned with Casey
lots
Hudson
of things
gone.
floating around. Lots of things floating around. With
Yeah.
them. Anyways, let's move on.
Mine, we'll go with mine next. I think that's the way I have a key. Yeah, I have a queued in there like that. Mine is a Crimson Desert, actually, and this is going to be released in winter of 2021. So we've got, whatever, about 8 to 10-ish months for this release. This is an MMORPG that's been in development for a while. We've reported on it a little bit when it was initially announced at MMO Bomb. Probably not going to be free to play, so I don't know how much coverage we'll do there, if any. If it surprises me and goes free to play, then we'll be covering it in full. But we will definitely be covering it here. Yes, I know, it's another MMORPG, but this is by Pearl Abyss, the makers of Black Desert Online. And while I personally have never gotten fully invested in Black Desert Online, there is a lot that Black Desert Online does that I think they do it really, really well. And I have played it for long periods of time. I'm not talking about I got to level 10 and then left type deal. I just never stuck around for like the hardcore, end game type stuff. The selling and farming of materials and all that stuff. So I like the way this looks. Will it end up being an MMO where we're go pick 7 leaves and bring them back? And yeah, probably. Maybe they'll surprise me on that front too and do something different with questing like Guild Wars 2 attempted to do back in the day that it launched. We're going to change the way questing works. And they did, for better or worse. That's up to your own subjective opinion. Maybe this is going to be standard fare as far as that stuff. Maybe this is going to be like Korean Grinder MMORPG. I don't know. I might end up disappointed with it. I'm not overly pumped for it, but it's by a company that has, in my mind, established a solid reputation. I might think that they overcharge for some shit in their BDO cash shop, but there's nothing egregious in my mind in their BDO cash shop. I understand that I don't have quite the endgame experience to just truly say it's not pay to win. I would need somebody with some more BDO experience to make that call. But they've got a track record I like. The game looks gorgeous. How much of gameplay will look like this? I don't know. I mean, there's just a lot of questions. So I'm not crazy hyped for it, but it's definitely one I'm watching because I like MMORPGs in general, and this is a company that has produced at least quality work. And I'll tell you what, Jason, that's damn few and far between in the industry right now in this genre.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of those anymore. I suppose when we used to get like 1 or 2 like that a year. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you in the sense that it does look amazing, and it's from a company that not only has a pretty good reputation, but has also made a crap ton of money. Like we see the financial reports for Pearl Abyss, and Black Desert is shockingly high.
Yeah, and you can buy the game for $285 on sale at most times.
Like that, yeah. I've got it for free actually. One day they were giving it away
right.
for free. I was like, sure, I'll pick it up. Why not? Not gonna spend my $3 or whatever.
Yeah, normally it's like $7.99 now.
yeah. But that's the thing. Like for Black Desert, I am the guy who got to level 10. I'm up to level 15, actually, 15 or 16, and I've still haven't gone back to it. I probably still will at some point. But I like you. I look at this and I go, man, that looks beautiful. But I bet like 90% of it is, killing 10 rats and grinding. So it's like, well, that's not going to be for me, I think. It might be fun to watch. I'm sure you'll stream it here on this channel whenever it comes out. But
yeah, absolutely.
But I'm not hyped for it really at all. So,
Yod, on your radar at all? I mean, you pretty much like MMO wise right now for you. It's like Final Fantasy 14 or bust.
Yeah, it's Final Fantasy 14. I mean, I keep my tabs on the story for Warcrack because it's Warcrack and it's got a special place, But when you mentioned it, I took a look at it. Until you actually said it on stream here, I didn't know it was MMO.
Oh,
it looked like a first play, one player, go in Skyrimish, do your thing, kill your stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and to be clear, they have said that this is gameplay footage, but we've heard that before too, right?
Right.
Where it's gameplay in quotes.
Right. And some parts of it look really polished. The buildings, the stuff, like there was a scene where like the castle wall's blowing out.
I'm like watching. I'm not even looking at my camera. I'm watching the trailer. Go ahead.
Looks like it could use that, that flip to the final render queue. Because it looked a little pre-rendered, but if it's an MMO, it looked fine. I didn't know it was MMOs. That would probably look fine for an MMO. But yeah, like the whole scene where he's the main character is jumping around on this weird appearing and disappearing ice thingy. That made me think it was a one-player game because it's kind of rough to do that. I mean, not that you can't do it in an MMO. I mean, even in Destiny, there was weird appearing and disappearing things in the raids, like in the King's Fall raid in the first Destiny, there was what we called the dick wall. You had to jump around on these platforms that appeared and disappeared, and things came and shoved you off. But that's besides the point.
So to be clear, here's the description that they give for Crimson Desert, okay? Crimson Desert is an upcoming open-world action adventure being developed by Pearl Abyss with both console and PC, which will combine elements of narrative-driven single-player games with online multiplayer functionality. Built on Pearl Abyss's proprietary next-gen engine, Crimson Desert will deliver high-fidelity graphics and game features and a highly immersive gameplay experience. A story of survival, Crimson Desert follows a group of struggling mercenaries and the many characters who cross their paths in the vast continent of Pywell. This is a world where heroes are made, but not without incredible hardship, pain, and perseverance. So definitely a live service game, if not full-blown MMORPG. Just to be specific about the terms, because sometimes they I know Jason, unfortunately, Jason and I use like the term MOBA for a ton of shit, and
you did. I always one for discriminating.
we fall into habits, so I just want to be clear.
Right. Okay, so in that case, it could be that there's some kind of
I get the feeling like Godfall, right, where it's a single player narrative, but there's multiplayer aspects.
PvP, something like that for multiplayer. But
yeah, see, Mad Martha, that's exactly why I clarified. Because some people don't put that in the same category. So
yeah, I can see from what they've showed us how it might be that way as opposed to full-blown MMO.
Yeah. Still one I'm interested in. Jason, you got one. Honestly, this one surprised me. I didn't know you were going to go this way when you queued this up as the one you were most interested in.
Well, to be clear, I'm going with what I think made the biggest impression on me. Not necessarily what I'm going to play the most. Cause
no. I get it.
Yeah, if it was going to be what I want to play, I looked at some of those smaller games.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning, I don't even consider this like our individual most hyped or most... This is just kind of, you know what? Out of everything, I think I'll keep my eye on that one a little bit.
This was what made... Yeah, this definitely when the trailer was going on. You can see it now. It's for Ark 2. And when that was going on, we were seeing the video there. First of all, I was like, is that Vin Diesel? So I'm sitting. Right? My TV is like over here. It's like a few feet away. I had to look. I was like, "Is that Vin?" I had to get up from my computer and walk over there to watch it. And I actually stood there and watched the whole rest of the trailer for like 5 minutes. Just standing there.
I'm still watching the trailer again.
This looks really cool. And I was like, "Wow, there's dinosaurs. Yeah, like eating dudes and whatever." And it wasn't when they got into that final cave at the end and he pulls up his little arm thing, a little gem. I was like, "Oh, this is Ark." I recognize the little gem wrist thing. So that was really cool. Just watching the whole thing and trying to figure out what it was, and then realizing at the end, like, is this Ark? Is this a sequel to Ark? And lo and behold, it was. Because I should have figured out once they had the dinosaurs and everything going on. Yeah, but yeah, it really looked cool and really looked.
How much did you get into the first
what I would have
Ark?
Expected. What?
How much did you get into the first Ark?
Not at all. Have never played it.
Really?
I've watched people play it a lot. Watch people play. Watch people stream quite a bit. I'm sure they're going to be really excited. Some of the streamers I watch do this. And I can remember, like, on day one, watching someone play it, like, the first time it came out and how messy it was, to say the least.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas, again, this is more of a cutscene video or whatever, but you tend to think that this is something they're going to do. They have refined it. They're going to... someone said while this was going on, while they were tweeting, someone tweeted out, like, how much money did Ark make that they could do this? And I was like, Ark is actually kind of like... It's probably the most successful pure survival game there is out there.
Yeah.
Like in terms of player
count.
After
they gave up on that battle royale.
Yeah, and Atlas. Let's forget about that too. Forget that never happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would seem to make sense to me that they could take all that money now and go back to their bread and butter and make it a more refined, make it a much better looking, much more advanced game in terms of gameplay and refinement and so on. So it might be something I do wind up getting into. It might be a really cool looking, really good playing kind of game. So I'm
Yeah.
at least mildly looking forward to seeing what they do with it.
Yeah, I'm seeing like your take on Crimson Desert is my take on Ark. I'm not a survival game fan. I'm not, and I've tried to be in a couple different ones, including Ark, but that genre just isn't for me. I after 20 minutes, I'm like,
I'm tired of digging up dirt and
yeah,
eating rocks or
it just
whatever,
isn't for me. That one's not
Yeah.
for me. Yod, what about you?
I did not play Ark when it came out. I heard all the good and bad reviews of it. Most more bad from my friends than good. I do wonder if they got a helping hand from Vin Diesel because he is a big time geek.
That's
And
true.
it might be something he was interested in, and he used his clout in his studio to help bring this about because it looks amazing. I'm
Mhm.
sitting here watching the video on the screen right now.
Yeah, and then
That
they got that
dinosaur-
animated series they're doing too with a bunch of
Right,
big names
right.
in it.
And
Yeah,
Vin Diesel's involved in that, and David Tennant, and I can't remember all
Carl
the other names.
Elliot Page. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
people.
so all those big names involved in it. But I haven't heard what studio's making it, which kind of makes me wonder if it's in house or not.
Oh,
What,
I mean
Ark
the
2?
animation,
Yeah, the
the game or
animation,
the animation?
the animation.
I don't know.
'Cause it's a style that I like kind of recognize in the back of my head that I've seen before. But I can't place it, but it looks good.
All
So
right. Well,
I mean,
there are our three. We're watching them. Let us know the ones you're watching in the comments below, whether it's on our YouTube channel or over at readycheckradio.com. Put your comments down below. I do want to hit just a few more here before we go. Some other big announcements. By no means are these all of them. You can find full-blown recaps all over the internet. I think one of the other big ones that caught a bunch of people by surprise, and some of these actually didn't because they were spoiled ahead of time. This one, though, Sephiroth coming to Smash Ultimate. That's big. However, kind of bad timing for the announcement, I think, with all the free Melee stuff going on right now. But Sephiroth coming to Smash Ultimate, kind of big news. Either of you Ultimate players? I dabble in it with my kids, as I'm not going to be at any tournament anytime soon or anything, but this is awesome.
I played Smash Brothers, the original.
On
Yeah,
N64.
That's how far back. That's the only version of it I've ever played.
Yod, your team at BioWare dropped a Dragon Age teaser. What'd you think of that?
they did. It looks really cool. I'm very happy for Dragon Age fans out there. I'm not as big a Dragon Age fan as a lot of the other people are. I'm not all things BioWare. But it was a very cool looking trailer, and I hope they do well.
Probably what the chat seemed to be the most interested for every time there was something new coming up. They were like, "Is this it? Is this it? Is this it? Is the new Among Us map?" Jason, the new Among Us map, the airship map, looked pretty cool. Some different options now. I like the option of being able to start in a different location on the ship rather than everybody in one central room. I think that opens up some gameplay options. Can I just say though, that if I was Genshin Impact, Jason, you probably feel pretty bad that you lost the mobile award to Among Us, which is now a couple years old at this point.
I was thinking, I was like, it's not for like the best new game or whatever. It's apparently for just the best mobile game. So why can't Among Us win every year for the next 5 years or something?
Maybe it will. Maybe it will.
They
Put
could,
me down for Cyberpunk 2077 and Among Us.
Yep.
There you go. No, Cyberpunk will win the best mobile game too. Somehow.
Yes. All the way down.
Fall Guys Season 3 comes out in 3 days. It's now winter season in game. I will definitely be checking that out. Then we got two Evils. We got Evil West, which, by the way, I missed like the first 8 to 10 seconds of the Evil West trailer. So when I just glanced down, I was like, oh, what is Rockstar doing with Red Dead Redemption 2?
That's what I thought too. I thought at first it was a Red Dead trailer too.
I was like, what are they doing with it? Are they adding something to the online, I guess? What is this? And then I'm like, this are not the Red Dead characters. What is this? Is this Red Dead 3? It's way too early for that, right?
Red Dead Online 2?
Evil West. Yeah, so you got that going on. And then, Yod, you got Evil Dead going on. So let's just package the evils together. The man, the myth, the legend, Bruce Campbell himself.
I do enjoy the Evil Dead series. The original movies were so cheesy. I like the TV show that came out afterwards. And this new game looks very promising. And I like the fact that you can play Arthur in it.
So you played like the old PS1 and Dreamcast and those games?
A few of them,
Yeah.
yes. I did have a few of them in there. But yeah, it's some of them were lacking, especially the Dreamcast one. That was a little hard to play. PS2 one actually, well, it's
It was
yeah.
not good.
There was two of them on PS2, but well,
Yeah, we don't talk about
So-
either of them.
really,
So
really,
the question is now which is going to be the most which is going to be the biggest co-op multiplayer shooting undead game? Is it going to be that, or is it going to be Back for Blood?
oh yeah, it was Back for Blood.
Or Left 4
that
Dead
looked
3, whatever you wanna
gory
call
as
it.
shit.
It
Yeah.
did. It
That
did.
looked gory as all hell.
So
Actually, you know what? Regeneration wasn't bad now that I think about it. Evil Dead Regeneration. Anyway, conspicuously absent, we did not get anything on Silent Hills.
Right.
And
we
the
didn't.
leaks
Wow.
were all like, that was anticipated to be announced that in all the leaks that, hey, it was going to be a Game Awards thing. We did not see it there. It was not mentioned there.
That's true. Yeah.
Yep. The other big one, of course, and this has like been missing in action for a long time now, Jason, Elden Ring. Haven't seen anything on that. Fans are kind of used to that, I guess, at this point. Last time we saw anything was what, like E3 2019.
it's been a while, yeah. But on the other hand, I look at the article that you linked to there, and it says at the end, when you're talking about the how they dealing with the PR, it says, as From Software has shown, it plays by its own rules, which seem to set some people up for disappointment.
Yep.
And I'm thinking to myself, that's kind of what From does. They play by their own rules, whether it's in the PR or whether it's just how they make their games. Because originally I'm sure there was a lot of, you can't make a game this hard, it won't be successful. And well, they were like, yeah, we're gonna anyway.
Yeah,
From
Software tweeted out like one image October of this year. They were like, yeah, look forward to it. Boom, here's generic fantasy character
we're not going to talk
number
about
7.
it now because we don't want to.
Yeah.
So what? Deal with it. You're going to buy the damn thing when it comes out. We don't have to talk about it now. So.
Speaking of buying things, other big news this week, of course, Cyberpunk 2077 released. Jason, what are your sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, what Cyberpunk was released?
Yeah, it came out this week. Finally came out this week. Jason, what'd you think? Initial impressions?
Well, from watching your stream, I kind of have this impression. In terms of the gameplay, it looks great. It plays great from what I can see. Yeah, watching some people stream, it's a little painful because of how bad the frames are. And it just, if I'm gonna have like an overall blanket thought, because you guys all take time to do yours or whatever, mine is like, it looks really good. I don't know that it's like transcendental or anything like that. I think it's going to be really well polished once they get it finally wrapped up and get everything else figured out in it. But I don't think it's necessarily like the game that's going to spark a new genre or be some great new thing that everyone's going to try to imitate, because you just can't. They're able to do that partially because CD Projekt Red is really good at what they do, and because they have probably the money and whatever, and the resources and whatever from doing The Witcher to be able to put together something like this, and the desire or whatever will or whatever you have to crunch as long as they did or whatnot. So someone trying to imitate that, I think, is just not going to be nearly as successful. So it's good for them that they're going to make a good game, a great game probably, but not something that's going to be a new genre-defining kind of revolution.
I kind of agree there, though. But I think that's because the game itself, I don't think, really tried to define a new genre.
Yeah.
It's just a very well-done open-world game. And we have...
It's actually funny.
Grand Theft Auto in that category, and Red Dead Redemption, and we've got the big players in that field. I think what they've done, though, is they've established another big player in that field. Like top-tier player. There's a lot of open-world games, but you kind of got your Grand Theft Auto, your Red Dead Redemption up here. Kind of got your lesser titles that are still quality titles down here, and I think Cyberpunk 2077... Yeah, some of the bugs are fun. My PC can run it fine. When I'm streaming it, I get this odd glitch, and I'm not alone here, by the way. I get this odd
Yeah.
glitch, like when I'm going into a conversational piece where it starts to slow down the frames. Whether I'm on high, medium, or low, it does this, so it's not a PC setting. It's almost like it's buffering the loading of the dialogue that's about to happen, and then it'll catch itself like fully loaded, and boom, I'm back up to 60 frames per second again and everything. Other than that, though, I've had no problems with this game, and I know a lot of people have had a lot of problems. I have not. Besides that, and I've noticed that it only happens when I'm streaming, so I think it is a processor thing that's going on, but nothing's maxed on my side. So there's nothing I can do. Now, they are going to be releasing patches. They've already released some, actually. They're going to be releasing a few more here because the game is virtually unplayable on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Now, they've started to patch that a little bit, so hopefully that's improved in the last 24 hours for those players, but frame rate's dipping down into the teens, on this one. I'm really enjoying the game. I've pretty much stuck to main storyline because I've only been playing it on stream. So I haven't done a ton of open world stuff. So that puts me about, let's say, 10 hours into the game now in the main story. And I'm very much enjoying it. We've now seen Keanu Reeves. We've got an idea of what's going on with his character and why it's a big deal. And if you played any of the, or are familiar at least with the earlier Cyberpunk stuff, it is kind of a big deal. And so I'm very, very much enjoying it. I'm not a huge sink a lot of time into Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption. I want to play this again. Like, I can't wait until my next stream where I'm going to play this again. And I haven't had that feeling with an open world game in a while. Bugs and all. Do I think it's a 10 out of 10? No, I don't. It's a very, very good game with a lot of bugs right now, and I'd hesitate to even review it right now. Honestly, in my book, maybe it could have benefited from one more delay to a certain point. But I think there's also the danger of delays turning into diminishing returns, where the fixing of bugs just keeps introducing bugs because you're trying to work through them so fast. So maybe it is better that it's out in the wild and now just focus on a stack of patches, bang, 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 including a fun bug where tits and penises just won't stay in clothing. I mean, they just won't stay in the damn clothing, Yod.
I saw, I saw that in the notes. I went to the shots. Those were interesting. I wasn't planning on getting it on current gen consoles anyways, but considering everything that's coming out soon that I want to play, I'm probably gonna end up building a PC for these games, because it just seems like it's gonna need so many patches just to be playable on the systems that right now buying a system to play something like Cyberpunk is not really worth it yet. And I'm sure by the time the Game Awards come around next year, for 2021, it's gonna be, the best 10 out of 10 game out there. But it's gonna need those year-long patches to do so.
Yeah.
And and I'm totally with you. It's not quite worth reviewing right now.
And I have problems with the whole review process for this particular game and the way CD Projekt Red has handled some things. And I don't like, if you're going to embargo actual footage on a review, then embargo the fucking review. Don't let the press put up reviews 48 hours before release, but tell them they're not allowed to use their own footage. That seems shady, even if your reason is totally not shady. If you don't want them to talk about bugs, then it is ridiculous that every review came with the caveat of this isn't our footage, it's B-roll they supplied us. And
that's kind
of we weren't playing the day one patches, so we probably experienced bugs you're not going to. Great. I'm not watching your 30-minute review.
right.
Yeah.
Because it's absolutely fucking useless at that point.
Right. If it's not the same version I'm playing here, why am I, checking it out,
And then the way they were kind of cherry picking who actually got review copies. Oh, by the way, this is not sour grapes. I was never in the running to do this review to begin with. So let's not, this is not a sour grape situation. This is just from I work in this business. That is not how you do things. I don't know if you've ever had this, Jason, but I've been asked to use B-roll in reviews or first looks or previews or whatever. I've been asked to use B-roll before, but it was always said, can you please use B-roll after this certain point in the game if you're going to play through that far? Could you use B-roll for any footage past this point? And normally it's for story spoilers and things like that. Like if you're playing a game and, a character dies, right? Something like that. I have been asked that before. I know other reviewers have been asked that before. ACG Carrick, who I enjoy watching their content, spoke about, having to do that for some RPG. And because in the party was a character they didn't want you to know that you end up getting as a character in your party. I've been asked to do that before. And I'll put a little footnote on it, or I'll say something at the beginning of the video. Hey, once we get to this point, it's going to be B-roll, but up until then, everything is my footage. They couldn't use any of theirs. That was really, really dumb. Just say, hey, embargoed till release day.
Yeah.
That's it.
But the thing is, everyone wants to have that first review, so that it's the one that gets all the hits or the views or whatever. So the chance to get it out there 2 days early, a lot of them are willing to do that. If you wait, then someone else is going to get their review up on the 8th, and you're going to get yours till the 10th, and you're going to not get as much traffic. But I agree. The way they could have done that, they could have done that by making it so that you don't get
That's it.
That they're embargoed until launch day. But then they want the pre-orders and they want the extra money sooner or whatever. So it's not a great situation all around.
It really isn't. It really isn't. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. Tons of bugs. I personally would not review it yet. I'm not going to give you a 1 through 10 score right now. 1, I'm not far enough into the game to feel comfortable doing so. And 2, I'm not comfortable with giving you a score on a game that is as glitchy as this one is now. I would say if you are unsure whether you will enjoy, if you think you will enjoy Cyberpunk and the question is, should I pick it up now or wait? I don't mind either way. Then I would say wait is the absolute best answer. If you're on the fence about whether you would like the game or not, definitely wait. 100% wait. There is nobody that I would probably say, yeah, go buy it right now. Go buy it right now. I think everybody, if you don't have it already, wait a little bit. I don't think it's going to be long, by the way. I think by January, February, the cores of these, cockroach bugs will be out of the system. So I don't think you have all that long to wait. Spend the extra $60 on your loved ones for the holidays.
They got the epilepsy bug out of the way.
Yes, that was actually kudos where due. Well, I guess kudos and a slap. One, how did that stuff, the brain dance stuff, get developed without somebody saying, hey guys, we have seizure warnings on this product, but this is going a little far. Like, this is further than the normal epilepsy warnings that come with video games and consoles to begin with. Should we maybe do something different here?
Considering apparently that specific flash pattern is actually used to find out if people have epilepsy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably should.
So kind of a slap on CD Projekt Red there for how did your accessibility team not say, hey guys, we might want to look at this a little bit, and not just chalk it up to, we have an epilepsy warning, let's go. And maybe it wasn't as cold and as callous. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But it's definitely short-sighted on their part. Then we'll give them the kudos on the other side that when the Game Informer article, I think it was Laura that wrote it, right? Called this out and pointed out and just kind of, fair warning, they immediately started working on it. And then the patch got installed yesterday. They were they were saying, hey, it might be a little while because we're working to see what's the best thing to do here to fix it. And then all of a sudden they were like, we've got a patch that, people are comfortable with. So kudos to them there. Last thing before we give our game of the weeks and get the hell out of here. Netflix announced a Sonic the Hedgehog show. But then they took the tweet down really quickly. Netflix's NX Twitter account posted that a new Sonic the Hedgehog show would premiere on Netflix in 2022. This is all according to WindowsCentral.com article written by Rebecca Spear. The post stated that the show would be in 3D and tagged at WildBrain HQ as well as at Man of Action Entertainment. However, it looks as though the news wasn't supposed to go live yet, as the post was deleted just a little while later. And all I have to say is, wait, what? No. No.
I mean, wasn't the revised version of the movie fairly well received, at least in terms of not
it
looking
was
like
actually.
crap?
It was.
I still haven't watched it yet.
So I don't get it. I'm not a Sonic fan, never have been, but I don't understand the hate behind a new series.
No, God, no, that can't possibly be good. Come on.
Why? There's like 1,800 Star Wars movies coming out in the next year, so I mean, why not?
And a lot of the ones that have come out recently, I haven't been doing very well when it comes to critical acclaim.
Yeah, I know, but
Man of Action Entertainment is a very good animation company.
Oh, no doubt. You know, the talent really on the animation is not the concern here.
Right. But yeah, right. But with this particular IP, I agree with you there, Mike, that they've got their work cut out for them.
Definitely.
I mean,
Mandalorian, it's fantastic.
I remember there was a Sonic cartoon a long time ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't very good.
No, it was horrible.
Sonic's
but remembered
kind of
fondly. Fondly. It's one of those rose-tinted hindsight glasses.
Right. It's one of those IPs where writing a weekly or storyline-based thing for this character kind of rough.
We'll see. Let's head over to our games of the week. Jason first. For those of you that don't know, this is our segment where we each give you a recommended game of the week. Could be a new one, could be one that's 30 years old. Doesn't matter. It may be what we're playing, maybe what we've just recently played, or maybe a game we thought of that we think you should check out. Each of us will give you one. You let us know in the comments below on ReadyCheckRadio.com or on YouTube which of the three hosts gave the best recommendation for the week. Jason, you can go first. Jason, you won last week, by the way.
Oh, I did?
You did.
Oh, wow.
You did.
I won everything. I won the predictions. I won this.
Yeah.
I won everything.
Comments-wise, you won last week.
Now, it occurs to me that I actually witnessed 2 robberies last night. In addition to us not winning Content Creator, Crusader Kings 3 did not win Best Simulation. Instead, it was Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is kind of a game, but not really. So I was really mad about that. Crusader Kings 3 got robbed. It's my game of the week. I've been playing it almost constantly since it came out in September. You should too if you like murdering your sister and sleeping with your brother, or vice versa.
Wow.
Or maybe both. It's fun. It's a medieval simulator, all sorts of cool stuff. Make war, make peace, make love with everyone. No horses this time, though. Those were in 2. Yeah, you could have a horse, and anyway. Go ahead.
Yard?
Well, we talked about the Evil Dead stuff earlier, and that actually made me think of Regeneration, which to me was a lot of fun, and also a little bit offensive because you get to kick a little person around to get through certain parts of the game. So I guess I'm on that track of a little bit offensive, a little bit of fun games. And so it's got to be Evil Dead Regeneration for PlayStation 2.
That's weird. I just said that one wasn't too bad. Now that I rethink about it, yeah.
It was a lot of fun, and you got to, kick a little zombie around.
All right, I'm gonna swoop in then and give it Cyberpunk 2077. Gotta recommend it as game of the week.
Nobody plays that.
Shut up.
Never
Cyberpunk
even heard of it.
2077. Keanu Reeves is in it. You guys should check it out. I think it's worth checking out. We'll be back next Saturday. Now, a little programming note, by the way. Next Saturday will be our final show of 2020. We will not have a show the 26th, the Saturday after Christmas, or January 2nd, the Saturday after New Year's, just to be able to give people time to spend weekends with family and loved ones and things like that, if you live in a place where you're allowed to actually do that. I do not. So we'll be back Saturday, January 9th after that break. But we still have next week's show, so make sure you're here next week, Saturday the 19th at 7 p.m. Eastern for another episode of Gaming Gumbo. Then it's 2 weeks off for the holidays. But until next Saturday, Yod, where can everybody find you?
Yod Artworks on Twitter, Yod Artworks on Facebook. Mostly anywhere that says Yod Artworks.
Mr. Winter.
You know, I like that you said you can't spend Christmas with your loved ones. I wonder if your wife and your kids are going to think about that. But anyway, you can find me on Twitter at WinterInformal, streaming at twitch.tv/JasonWinter.
Chat, make sure you hang on after the show here. We'll go dead for just a second or two as we bring up our first streamer of the evening. That'll be Torchwick. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Looking forward to spending my Christmas with some love. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
What are you playing tonight, my friend?
Plans of Final Fantasy 6 or 3 US.
Where are we in the
Hoping to-
storyline right now?
We're hoping to finally get off the floating continent, but there's a thing in our way that killed us last time, and I spent a week trying to figure out how to kill it.
All right. Well, good luck. Chat, you can tag along on that journey right after this show. We kill the channel for like 15, 20 seconds so we can change the labels and get all the videos by themselves. And then Torchwick will be live. Make sure you hang out and give him the advice needed to get through Final Fantasy VI for your first ever playthrough. I'm enjoying watching that. It's very nostalgia-driven to have watched my son do that. So enjoy the stream. Torchwick, we'll see you in just a minute, gang. My name's Mike Byrne. You can follow me right there on Twitter at MagicMan1, but more importantly, follow at RC Radio so we can tweet at you with every show, every streamer, as they're getting ready to go live and share their passion for gaming. Later.